Hello, my name is Mara Musso and I'll be showing you a short 20-minute sequence, yoga sequence you can do at home. It's a very user-friendly sequence, so there are virtually no contraindication to this sequence. It's a very good sequence to do if you've come home and you've had a busy day and you're feeling tired, you're drained, you're exhausted, and you want something that just picks you up a little bit, picks the energy up, makes you feel better. So this sequence is ideal for that. The only things you need, only two items. You need a strap. Doesn't have to be a yoga strap if you have one, or anything. Could be an old belt, or it could be a tie, that would also work. And the other thing, if you could have a blanket, and if you don't have a blanket, a nice folded towel, that would also work. That's all you need. So we'll make a start. So we'll be starting in a posture which is called constructive rest, where you have the feet apart, but then the knees come in together, so you feel like the legs are supported. You don't feel like you have to hold on to your legs. And the back of the neck is nice and long, the chin will draw downwards, and we're going to start with the hands resting lightly on the tummy, on your belly. The fingertips will be touching ever so slightly. And then what I'm going to ask Rita here is to breathe into the belly. And as she breathes into the belly, you'll see that the fingertips will come a little bit apart. And then as she breathes out again, the fingertips will come to touch again. And this is diaphragmatic breathing. And diaphragmatic breathing is very calming. You'll find it's a very calming, very relaxing type of breathing. So when you do this at home, you can do this for maybe 5 minutes or even 10 minutes or longer, depending on how much time you have available. And then once you've done that, from here, we're going to be hugging the knees into the chest. So you bring the hands onto the knees. You can see Rita here. You can do a little bit of gentle stretching, drawing the knees towards you, but you can also do a little bit of gentle sideways movement or even a little bit of circling. So just anything that feels soothing for the back. So what we're trying to do here is to massage a little bit into the lower back. And if you've had a busy day, you may find the lower back feels a little bit tired, maybe it's a little bit stiff. And then once you've done that, we're going to be rolling over to the right-hand side, and we're going to have the right arm outstretched. So the knees will stay bent, and then we're rolling over onto the right-hand side, and I'm going to place a folded blanket. Again, this is optional, you don't have to, but it's quite nice to have a little bit of support under the head. The fingertips of the left hand will sit on the tip of the left shoulder. And we're going to start just drawing circles with that left elbow. And depending on how that shoulder feels, you may want to keep the movement really, really gentle, very, very small. And then in your own time, I would suggest you explore the movement a little bit at a time. It's really about listening to your body. And we go one way and then we change direction. So we go both clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then when you've done that, then we're going to be stretching out that left arm. So the left arm rests on top of the right now. And this time, I want you to draw nice big circles all around. We're going to keep that left arm straight or straightish as it goes all the way around. It's almost like there's a big clock face all around you. You're going to take that arm all the way around the clock face. And you can do a few circles, 5, 6, 7 more circles in one direction. And then when you're ready, you change direction. You'll be circling that arm the other way. So it's all about tuning into your body. It's all about listening to your body. And as we always do in yoga, doing as much or as little as you feel comfortable. Remember, yoga is not competitive. So once you've completed your sequence on this side, then you'll be rolling onto your back. And then in your own time, you'll be rolling over to your left hand side. You'll be doing exactly the same thing. Now you may need to readjust the blanket as you do it on this side. So we're going to start with the fingertips on the tips of the shoulders, and you'll be circling that right elbow. And don't be surprised if this side is going to feel different. Yeah, remember, the body's never completely symmetrical. And certainly if you've had any injuries or if you've got frozen shoulders or anything else, you may find one side is actually very different from the other. And so please, as always, listen to your body. So we repeat exactly the same thing. We start with the fingertips on the tip of the shoulder, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and then we'll be straightening the arm. We'll be resting the arm on top, and then we'll be circling the whole of the arm, just as we did for the previous on the other side. Yeah, so we repeat everything exactly the same, but remember, this side may feel very different from the other, and that's okay. Yeah, so just please work within your comfortable limit, as we always do. And again, we're doing clockwise, and we're going anti-clockwise on this side as well. So when you've completed that, then we're going to be rolling onto the back. And this time we'll be lying with the knees bent. This is semi-supine, so we're going to have the knees in line with the feet. And I'm going to remove the blanket for this one. We're going to have the arms alongside the body. And now keeping the chin tucked in, as you breathe in, we'll be raising the arms so that at the end of your inhalation, the arms will rest on the floor above the head. I always suggest keeping the elbows ever so slightly bent, as it's a lot easier on the shoulder joints. And then as you breathe out, you'll be lowering the arms back down. So it's about synchronizing breath and movement together. So we breathe in, we bring the arms up. And then as we breathe out, we bring the arms back down. So we'll be doing this maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times, depending on how much time you've got available. And then when you've done that, as the arms come down, we're going to be adding another movement onto this, which is lifting the buttocks, lifting the spine, and lifting the arms. So this takes a little bit more concentration. There's a lot more happening now. So as you breathe in, everything comes up the floor, the hands are on the floor above the head, and as you breathe out, everything will come back down. And again, we're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 repetitions, depending on how much time you have available. And then once you've completed that, we allow the spine to settle, so we allow the vertebrae to sink and spread, and then you can hug the knees over the belly again, as we did earlier. And again, we give the back a nice stretch. We're going to do a little bit of gentle rocking, a little bit of circling. So once more, we're massaging into the back here. And then when you're comfortable from here, we're going to be extending the arms out at shoulder height. You can bring the feet down onto the floor and keep legs and feet together. And then as you breathe out, we're allowing the legs to descend to the right hand side. And so just let gravity draw the legs down. And as you let the legs descend, you'll be stretching into the left arm. You'll be keeping the left shoulder on the floor. If your neck feels comfortable, you can turn the head and look to your left hand. Again, it's an option. If it doesn't feel right on the neck, you can just look up to the ceiling. So again, you stay there for 5, 6, 7, 8 breaths. And then on the inhale, you'll be bringing the legs back up to center. And then as you breathe out, the legs will descend over to the left-hand side. And again, you just allow the legs to settle. We just allow the legs to become heavy. And stretching them into the right arm, we keep the right shoulder down, you turn the head if you're comfortable enough in the head and neck, and you'll be looking in that direction. And then when you've done that, we breathe in. We're going to come back to center. We're going back to semi-supine now. So with the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor. Now we're going to be working a little bit into the hips. So keeping the left leg exactly as it is, have the right knee bent over your belly, with the right hand sitting on top of the right knee. The fingers are pointing towards the foot. And then in your own time, I want you to guide that right leg into circles. And the movement is coming from the hip joint. So as always, please listen to the body. You may want to be really gentle here. Change in direction when you're ready. So again, we're working clockwise and anti-clockwise. And then when you've done that, you lower the foot down. This time you'll be picking up the left leg. The left hand is on top of the knee. And we'll be doing exactly the same thing on this side. We'll be circling that left leg at the hip. So we're going one way, and then we're going the other way as well. Okay, so when you're ready, pick up your right foot and find your belt, and we're going to place the belt or the strap or anything you have available around the ball of your foot, and then you straighten that right leg up to the ceiling. And you may find the back of the leg is feeling a little bit stiff. So as always, I suggest you just take it easy. You may want to keep that knee slightly bent. And then just spend a little bit of time just exploring that stretch in your own time. If you're able to gently start to open a little bit more into the back of the knee, just stretching the back of the leg a little bit more, bearing in mind that you might not be able to straighten the leg fully, and that's fine, that's absolutely okay. So we do that with the right leg, and then we lower the right foot down, we pick up the left foot, and we repeat exactly the same thing on the left side. And again, just bearing in mind that the left leg may be stiffer, maybe more flexible than the other. So you may find it's not the same, and again, that's fine. Just be aware of it. Just good to develop awareness. So once you've done both legs, then we're going to do them together at the same time. So you have both knees bent over the belly. The belt will go around the balls of both feet. And then just a little bit at a time, we're going to start to explore the stretch at the back of the legs, allowing the shoulders to release back and down, letting the shoulder blades flatten as you do that. It's quite nice to have the elbows ever so slightly bent outwards here, just to remind us to release the shoulders down. And then when you've done that, you can lower the feet back down. You can just leave the belt by your side. And then you can just get yourself ready to do a final relaxation. So you'll be lying down, you'll be lying comfortably on your back, knees bent or legs straight, with the arms a little bit away from the sides of the body. We're coming into Shavasana, into our final relaxation. And you can spend 5 or 10 minutes or longer in this posture, just allowing the whole of the body to really soften now, to let the body surrender to gravity. And there is nothing for you to hold on, so you can really let go now. I hope you've enjoyed the practice today. Namaste, and thank you, Rita. Namaste. Thank you, Natasha.